Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here, and we have finally made it to the end of the Call of Duty World War II Veteran Difficulty walkthrough. This is Mission 11. Everything has been building up to this. This is the Rhine, and we're going to start off with kind of a long cutscene. There are actually a lot of cutscenes in this chapter, and I will see you once the gameplay starts up.
I want nothing more than to be with Hazel when our baby arrives. But I gotta convince Pearson to let me back in the fight. I'm doing it to find Zus, because he'd do the same for me. If I don't make it home, well, just watch over him, Paul.
Oh, what are you doing here?
What's it look like?
Suicide.
Hey, I wouldn't go in there. Pearson's been hitting the sauce.
Thanks for the warning.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'm not giving up on Zussman.
Tell it to the chaplain, because I got no room for a second. Who can't follow orders?
You weren't following orders when you refused to abandon those boys at Kazarane.
What did you just say to me?
You heard me.
You better leave while you can still walk.
Davis told me. It wasn't your fault. You were only trying to do right by your platoon.
Get out! Get out!
I'm not going anywhere.
I said get out! God damn it! My orders were to fall back, but I just couldn't leave them. I told my men we were gonna hold this pass until reinforcements got here, but they never came. They never came. So I guess you're right. I did get my men killed. Now go.
Not without my platoon.
You think you got some guts, don't you? Try getting the job done day in and day out while your men are dying all around you.
Turner would have never given up like this.
Turner is dead.
Then make that mean something! No sacrifice too great!
You don't know anything about sacrifice!
How about this? Honorable discharge papers signed by Davis. My ticket home. I could have had everything. A hero's welcome, my girl in my arms. Hell, even a Bronze Star. But I got one last mission.
You must be crazy.
Crazy ain't the half of it.
All right, fall in.
Sergeant?
I said fall in, goddammit. If you want in, now's the time. Get the fuck out of my way.
Oh, I guess the gang's all here.
Not all of us. Let's take that bridge and find our boy.
Yes, Corporal.
If Zussman's alive, he's across that bridge. We just gotta take it first.
All right, there she is, the last bridge over the Rhine.
We get this convoy across, we're in the heartland. We'll bust them open.
Look, it's all or nothing. It's all been leading to this.
Hold on! All right, on me, come on! We gotta secure the bridge entrance!
Yes, Sergeant! Come on!
Hey, don't make me regret giving you a second chance.
You know I won't. Let's move.
So first things first, this is incredibly important. You're going to see these 3 enemies on top of this tower far off in the distance. Make sure you kill all 3 of them because they have rocket launchers, and if you start to... so what you have to do here is you have to make your way up the hill by standing behind the tank. If you do not kill those 3 guys, they will tear you to shreds with those rocket launchers, and it can be really frustrating because they're kind of hard to see, and so you'll waste a lot of time, like, where the hell am I getting shot from? That happened to me on my regular difficulty playthrough, and so luckily that prepared me for this. So what you want to do is as soon as you gain control of Daniels, make sure you kill those 3 guys. And then you'll pretty much be in the clear. You're going to do exactly what you see me doing here. You're just going to stay behind this tank, make your way up the hill. It provides you with plenty of cover. Then once you see this fork in the road, you're going to take it. You're going to see this large rock in front of me, and you're just going to hide behind the rock and kill as many enemies as you can. So our goal here is to get to the bridge. But there are quite a few enemies around, and you can see there are a number of towers off in the distance, and some of those towers have machine gunners placed in the windows, so you still do have to be careful. You kind of have to move up slowly, go from cover to cover, that type of thing. But so what I'm going to do here, what I'm going to focus on is I'm just going to kill a couple enemies that are actually on the bridge. So I've killed a couple. Here come a couple more. I'm going to take them out. And then once they're gone, I should have clearing to move up a little bit. So again, you can see right there I'm taking damage from those machine gunners. Even though they're so far away, they can still hit you, and on veteran difficulty they can still do quite a bit of damage. And so now I'm going to make a run for it. I'm going to go to this rock right here, wait a couple seconds until you regain your sprint back, and then I'm going to run to the sandbags over here and take cover behind those. And at this point you should see, because of our earlier work, there are not very many enemies left on the bridge, so we don't really have to worry about them. I'm going to shoot at this window here. I don't think it really did anything, but I thought it was a good idea at the time. But anyway, now I'm going to make my way to the bridge. I'm going to take cover behind the tank, and then in a couple seconds I'm actually going to run up to that APC and hop in the turret, and I'm going to finish off the rest of the guys with some turret fire. Again, that's something I've mentioned all walkthrough long, is anytime you can get in the seat of a turret, do it, because you do not take damage. The APC takes damage. So you'll see right here, I am not actually getting shot. If I were getting shot, my screen would turn red. So I'm not getting shot. It's the APC that's taking damage, and even then, there aren't enough enemies in this area to actually cause significant damage to the vehicle. So I'm just going to kill the rest of the soldiers. Then I'm going to hop out and advance up the bridge. At this point, you don't really have to worry about those machine gunners anymore. We're actually going to breach that tower in a couple of seconds to finish the job. So instead, what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to find some health packs, because I did have to use a couple on my way to the bridge, and I don't have any right now. Unfortunately, I could not find one, so it's not the end of the world, but that's just what you have to deal with sometimes. Now, Pearson's going to run over to this door, and he's going to tell you to breach the tower. I'll tell you right now, sometimes this area can be a bit buggy, and sometimes he'll tell you to breach the tower, but he won't actually open the door, and so you're just kind of left waiting. If that happens, all you have to do is restart the checkpoint. Hopefully you don't have to do too much over again, and just do that. It's something I've also mentioned in this walkthrough a couple times. This game has quite a bit of bugs in it, which is odd. But now, what I'm going to do to clear out this tower, I'm actually just going to throw 2 grenades. I'm going to throw one on the right side of the room, one on the left side of the room. And the good thing is this room is so small that you should have a good chance of killing all of the enemies in it. And we're basically just going to do that from floor to floor. Really, really simple. It's a lot harder to breach these rooms only using a gun, because as soon as you turn a corner, an enemy on veteran can just tear you to shreds. So it's a lot easier to use the grenades. And now we're going to do basically the same thing here. I'm going to throw 1 grenade on the left side of the room. You can hear all the screams. I'm going to throw another on the right side of the room. Again, you can hear the screams of the soldiers who are getting killed. And now I'm just going to kind of slowly pop my head up to see if there are any enemies left. Usually when you clear out the area, your character will say that the area is clear. So since I haven't heard him say that yet, I get the feeling there's another enemy somewhere alive, and sure enough, there he is tucked into the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and finish him off, and that is the first tower clear. Now, this level is kind of long. It's about 40 minutes, which is one of the longer chapters of the game. But, you know, that's because it is the ending level. So to give you, you know, just so you know, like, the complete last 8 minutes of this video is all going to be kind of one big cutscene without any commentary. And, you know, again, that's because it's the end of the game. So you can expect a bit more cutscenes. They have to wrap up the story and everything like that. Picked up a memento right there without meaning to. I didn't know what that was when I picked it up. Yeah, and so now that I'm done with the game, my next job is to go through it again and get all the collectibles, get all the achievements, everything like that. But anyway, you're going to go back to Pearson and you'll be given your next objective.
We'll handle the charges. All right, I'll lead the way while Daniels and Stiles cover the engineers. Ready?
Alright, so there we go. That's our objective here, is to cover the engineers. However, you really don't have to do that. So, the engineers don't have health bars or anything like that. Really, your objective here is just to get across the bridge. So, this is the bridge that will take us into the Rhine. And there's going to be quite a bit of heavy resistance here. Now, luckily, you will get numerous checkpoints during your journey across the bridge. So, even if you get killed, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to redo... You know, you don't have to redo the entire bridge. I guess a couple strategies here. One thing you might want to do is use smoke grenades to advance. So, for example, you might want to, you know, shoot a couple enemies, throw a smoke grenade, and then use that smoke to advance a little bit. So you see right there, I got overly aggressive, and I didn't even see that guy on the left, and he almost killed me. But so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to lay underneath this truck, and there's a couple enemies you can shoot. Now, the AI in this game, your teammates are incredibly stupid. I can't count the number of times that my teammates got in front of one of my shots. I mean, it's even gotten to the point where I'll be aiming at an enemy, and right before I pull the trigger, a teammate will just jump in front of my shot, and then I'll get penalized for friendly fire, and that basically counts as a death, and you have to restart the checkpoint. So the teammate AIs in this game are really quite stupid. It can really be frustrating at times. I died a lot from friendly fire in this game that was not my fault. But anyway, like I said, you're just going to kind of go from cover to cover here. Here we go. I'm going to throw my next smoke grenade. I don't quite know what happened. I think it somehow glitched through the floor, and so it didn't do anything, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. So I'm just going to, again, stand behind this truck right here, peek out every once in a while, take out a couple guys. Pearson has this ability where he can spot out the enemies for you, and they get highlighted in this white glow. So you'll see I just earned that ability. And now I'm going to move up to my next piece of cover. You'll see the enemies are momentarily retreating. So go ahead and shoot them as they run away. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to advance further up the bridge, and that's going to trigger this little sequence right here where they start blowing the bridge. Now again, this is all completely scripted, so you really have nothing to worry about here. Go ahead and make your way through the smoke. There is going to be one guy that you have to take down, so you'll see him right here. He's kind of stunned from the explosion, so he should be coming up right here. Go ahead and just shoot him, not a threat. And then keep making your way up. You'll see this overturned cart. Go ahead and pass that. And now I'm gonna kind of go to the left side of the bridge here. I'm gonna hide behind these steel beams. And now we go back to work. Now, you might have noticed earlier I picked up a launcher. I picked up a rocket launcher in one of those towers. And then another ability right here is Aiello. He can call in mortar strikes. So I earned that ability. I'm going to go get the mortar strike. He throws you the smoke grenade, so you're going to go ahead and throw that right into the bunch of enemies, and that will trigger a mortar strike, which should help out at this point. And look at that, I got an achievement. So that achievement is for calling in mortar strikes 10 times with Aiello's ability. Every teammate's ability has an achievement associated with it. The only thing that differs is the number. So like for Zussman, you have to request 30 health packs. For Pearson, you have to request 35 spots. For Turner, you have to request, I think, 20 ammo. And for Stiles, you have to request like 15 grenades. So So anytime you can build up a teammate's ability like that, make sure you cash it in so that you can make, you can work your way towards those achievements. Now you're gonna see a couple enemies up there on the tops of the towers. You can try to shoot them from far away. It can be kind of hard though. But anyway, now I'm gonna run up to this beam right here, and I'm about to get myself another checkpoint. So again, I'm gonna stick to kind of the left side of the bridge here. I don't know why, I just find that to be the easier side to work with. And I'm going to approach this kind of weird metallic looking wagon right in front of me. And as I do that, you'll see a small cut in the video, because this is where I'm going to earn myself another checkpoint. So right here, you can see what I'm talking about, that metal cart in front of me. I'll earn myself a checkpoint, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way up to this wooden cart. There's going to be a vehicle right in front of me, and you can actually shoot the turret driver from behind cover. You can see these little holes in the handles of the wagon, so anytime you can exploit things like that, make sure you do so. Anytime you can, shoot an enemy without actually exiting cover, that's definitely helpful. And now with the with the launcher that I grabbed earlier, I'm just gonna spam a couple shots down there to try to clear out any remaining enemies before I make my next advance upward. Now you might not have grabbed the launcher from the tower. That's okay, it's not the end of the world. Just lay down some extra gunfire, maybe use a couple grenades or something. The launcher just makes things a little easier, I would say. But there you see my teammates just advanced up, and so that's kind of my cue to go up as well. We're getting pretty close to the end of the bridge. And I'm getting kind of tired of doing commentary. I think I always make the joke where, like, if you were to watch one of my walkthroughs from start to finish, you can easily notice a change in the tone of my voice. So like during part 1 of the walkthrough, my voice is very excited, and you can hear the enthusiasm. And then near the end of the walkthrough, it's not that I'm not having fun, but it's just that I've been doing a lot of commentary, and so I'm not as fresh and excited as I was when I started the walkthrough. And I think if you watch the whole thing, you could probably tell just by listening to my voice. And that goes for every walkthrough, not just this one. I think every walkthrough I've done, you can easily spot that difference.
Throw the grenade!
And yeah, I think a lot of people, they might not realize the work that actually goes into making these videos. So I am very, very adamant about what the definition of a walkthrough is, because nowadays everybody and their mother has a YouTube channel for gaming, and the definition of walkthrough has just gotten terribly muddied. Nowadays, you look at channels like the Rad Brad. He does live Let's Plays, and yet he has the title of King of Walkthroughs, and he titles his videos as walkthroughs, and I'm sorry, but they are not walkthroughs. A walkthrough is a short, it's a concise video that shows you strategies on how to beat the game. And if you're doing a live Let's Play of a game, that means it's your first time playing the game, and therefore it is not a walkthrough, because you have no strategies to offer. And it's not just the Rad Brad, because don't get me wrong, I actually like his channel. I enjoy his videos. I don't enjoy his videos as walkthroughs, though, because that's not what they are. I enjoy his videos as Let's Plays, because that's what they are. And so I think I'm getting way off topic here, but I'm very adamant about what the definition of a walkthrough is, and so that's what I try to bring to my channel. And so what that means is I record all of my commentary after recording the gameplay. I do not do them both at the same time. And so what that means is every video you see, say a video is an hour long, that means that it actually took me 2 to 3 hours to make that video, because first off, you could say, okay, I spent an hour playing the game. That means I have to do an hour of commentary. But then you have to remember, too, I don't beat the game perfectly. I go through a number of deaths that I edit out. So in reality, I actually record gameplay for an hour and a half, do an hour's worth of commentary, and then do about, 10 minutes or 15 minutes of editing, just basic editing. So it's a lot of work that goes into these videos. But, at the end of the day, I don't mind doing it, because I like to kind of show people what the actual definition of a walkthrough is. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Everybody just labels their video. I mean, it's kind of sickening, in my opinion. Like, any new game that comes out, search for a video for it, and every single video you find is going to be called something like, say, Call of Duty, for instance, World War II. Every video you find is going to say something like Call of Duty World War II, PS4 Pro, Veteran Difficulty, gameplay walkthrough, cutscenes, you know, FPS 60 frames per second, blah blah. You know, it's just going to have all this information in there, and then at the end of the day, all it is a Let's Play. People just get the game, and they record themselves playing it, and that is not a walkthrough, and it's so frustrating to me that people think that's what a walkthrough is. And I know that my viewers don't think that because they're loyal to what a walkthrough really is, but unfortunately the rest of the world doesn't agree, and it's highly frustrating. Anyway, that was my opportunity to vent, because that wasn't a very tough section. Let's get back to the gameplay before I really start to get mad. So we have basically one more thing to do here. We have to get to an anti-aircraft gun, and we have to use it to shoot down a bunch of planes. It's the same thing that we had to do in Chapter 2, except that this time it's actually a bit easier. The hardest part is actually getting to the anti-aircraft gun, and this is actually, in my opinion, the hardest part of the chapter. So what you're going to do is wait for Pearson to tell you to move, and you'll notice I'm crawling here, and that's because this part's really annoying. Even though Pearson tells you to get to the trenches, you think that means you can get to the trenches without worrying about getting shot, and that is just not the case. You can still get just beat up at this part. So, and to make things worse, this trench is just filled with smoke, so your visibility is practically zero. But so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to creep to the right side of this trench. You're going to peek around this corner here, and you can see one enemy, and luckily you can see him because of his silhouette against the fiery backdrop. So go ahead and kill him. There's going to be a second guy, but for some reason he runs away, so if you don't have time to kill him, that's okay. Make your way to this part of the trench now. I don't know who just shot me from behind. I really have no idea, but that's okay. Now I'm going to make my way through the trench again. You're going to see an enemy drop down right in front of you, so he ran across that bridge right there. I'm going to ignore him. I'm going to, you know, turn my corner slowly. There he was. There was one enemy in the smoke right there that I had to kill. Very, very hard to see. And now right here, as I make my way down the trench, this guy's going to drop down right in front of me. I'm going to kill him. Alright, and now this part is possibly the most difficult part, because these two guys are really hard to spot. I was just checking my rear right there to make sure no one was sneaking up on me, because that did happen to me once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up here, get this health pack, and then I'm going to run up and duck to the left. Alright, so get ready for this. I'm going to throw a grenade just to kind of cover my run for it. And here we go. Run up and immediately go to the left. Okay, now you're going to aim around this corner, and you're going to very slowly tilt your camera. And you're going to see one guy right there. Very easy to get a headshot on him. So again, I missed that first one, but here we go. Peek around that corner very slowly, get the headshot. Now there's going to be one more guy to his right, so go ahead and shoot him. And now you can make a run for the anti-aircraft gun. Now I'm just being patient because I did die here like 9 times. I was getting really frustrated. But go ahead and get to the anti-aircraft gun. That will get you a checkpoint, and now you're going to have to go back to shooting down some planes. Now, this works the same way that it did in Chapter 2. You're going to want to aim just in front of the plane. So aim just ahead of the plane so that you can project their paths, and then shoot as many of them down as you can. There's actually an achievement for shooting down every plane, but you don't have to worry about that. You just want to shoot down enough planes to survive. So go ahead and, you know, just lay down on these guys. You'll get yourself a checkpoint halfway through, so you'll see I just earned a checkpoint. And here we go. This is where things get a little hard. These planes are going to approach you head on. Now there's going to be another set that approaches you head on. So the main thing here is just anticipating where the planes are going to come from. And so it's very hard to do this on your first try because you just don't know where the planes are coming from. But now on this one, I knew exactly where the planes would be approaching me from, so I was able to shoot them well in advance. I was able to shoot at them, you know, before they were able to get too close to me. So it might take you a couple tries, but that's okay. Use that to your advantage and learn you know, learn the paths of the planes and you should be fine. And again, just remember to aim slightly ahead of the planes. But there you go. Eventually your boys will show up and you will be done with that part. Now you see right here, that was just incredibly unfair. The second I got out of the anti-aircraft gun, I just got blitzed with bullets. And so now we have one last thing to do. This is going to be the last firefight of the game. You'll see our objective. It says to rally with our squad up ahead, about 50 meters away. So that's exactly what we have to do. Unfortunately, there are quite a bit of enemies in between us and them. So, you know, we're going to kind of do what we've been doing this entire time. We're going to be patient. We're going to move up slowly, just go from cover to cover. Utilize smoke grenades if you have to. Aiello has a mortar strike for me. That could not have been better timing. So I'm going to go ahead and use that to clear out some enemies that are in front of me. And looks like I got another achievement. I don't know what that's for. Disable enemies using smoke grenades. I'm not really sure how I got that, but I did. So luckily this isn't an achievement guide video, because this would be a very poor achievement guide. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to throw a smoke grenade to kind of give myself a little bit of breathing room to advance up. And yeah, you know, this part, it's annoying, but you just have to get through it. It's not that challenging. You might die a couple times. I know I did. But really just use the same approach. Throw a couple smoke grenades to get you up there a little bit. Shoot the enemies that you can see. You know, there's so much going on right now that it can be hard to actually spot where the enemies are. But, you know, like I said, you might die a couple times just like I did. Use that to your advantage and try to, you know, remember where the enemies are, so that when you respawn, you can shoot them much easier. But you can see we're getting closer and closer, and you're going to reach a certain point where you're close enough to just kind of run straight for the objective, because what you're going to want to do is run towards the objective, and then that will trigger some tanks that show up and basically finish the fight for you. So here you go, you're about to see me do that. You're going to see a cut in the video because I got a checkpoint right there. But what I'm going to do is just run straight up to these sandbags. And like I said, that will trigger the tanks. So this right here is all scripted. The tanks will show up to finish the fight for us. And like I said, this is basically the last fight of the game. Don't get me wrong, the game's not over. We still have to rescue Zussman. But in terms of like actual combat and challenging moments, the game is pretty much over at this point. So go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Congratulations, you have beaten this game on Veteran Difficulty. There's just a little bit more we have to do, but like I said, we're pretty much done. So go ahead and enjoy this cutscene.
The bridge is ours. Corporal Howard. I believe I owe you an apology. You owe me a hell of a lot more than that. Come on through. Just made history, fellas. First across the Rhine. What you looking at, Fritz?
There are reports of POW camps in the area. Davis has ordered us to wait for authorization before conducting a sweep. But I guess you know what to do with Davis's orders.
Copy that, Sergeant.
All right.
Proud our platoon held the first bridgehead on the Rhine. Now our convoy's rolling into the heart of Germany. They say war's as good as won. Not to me. Not while Zuss is out there. After leaving the bridge on our mission east, we searched camps along the way. I thought I knew what cruelty was. I didn't know anything. But one thing's for certain. What I saw will stay with me forever. Survivors said that the other POWs, including Zussman, had been taken to a smaller camp 3 hours east. All I could do was hope he somehow made it.
Last one. This looks more like a labor camp. Come on.
Alright guys, so every once in a while, it doesn't happen much, there are moments in my walkthroughs where the game, I think, is just too important to commentate. I think that certain areas in certain games are just much more powerful when you don't have to listen to my voice in the background. So even though there's more gameplay to go, I am going to stop the commentary here. I will pick it back up at the end of this video just to kind of give my final sign off on the walkthrough. But I think this part here, we're approaching essentially a concentration camp, a labor camp, and it's a very, it's a very sensitive thing. It's very chilling. It's very haunting. And so I think ultimately the game takes importance here over anything that I have to say. So yeah, I just wanted to give a brief explanation of that. But anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop the commentary, let you enjoy the final 8 to 10 minutes of this game, and then I will see you at the very end when I do the final sign off and thank you and everything like that.
I get the feeling it's deserted.
It's still burning. They must have just left.
There's a barracks over there.
Daniels, you and Stiles check it out. Aiello, with me.
They wanted to hide whatever happened here. These were our guys.
Take out your camera. The world's gotta know. They had them living worse than animals. From the looks of it, they were beaten, starved, and worked to the bone.
Over here.
The Nazis had murdered our boys in cold blood, and no fire in hell could burn away the stain.
I'm guessing they made an example out of them.
They'd slaughtered the weakest, anyone that was slowing them down.
Daniels, over here. Daniels, you gotta see this. The tracks lead to the fields. That's where they must have marched on.
And that's where we're going.
I wouldn't get your hopes up, Corporal.
I made a promise to Sussman.
We'll find him. I just can't guarantee we'll find him alive.
Sergeant, I'll take point. Suspect!
Red! Red, take the shot!
Everything's coming full circle. All I've done, all I wish I'd done. It's like my whole life is leading to this moment.
We need to head home, baby brother.
Paul!
You died right there in the snow. All because I couldn't.
couldn't. Damn it. I'm coming, Zussman. You're not gonna die, brother. Not now. Not today. Zussman! Zussman!
Ich höre Sie! Bewegung! Los! Hören Sie! Bewegung! Los!
Brad, take the shot! Take the shot! Take the shot! Take the shot!
Is it over? You must be dreaming.
What'd they do?
Thought you were left behind. And I might die alone out here.
Drink some. Easy now.
Come on, let's get on here. Into the Jeep, come on. General.
You always looked out for me, Paul. And I reckon you did today. Because there's only one thing that keeps you going on that long march. And that's having your brothers beside you.
When history called, you answered. From all walks of life, you came to defend peace and freedom. I thank you, and the world thanks you. Wherever your path takes you, know this. You will always be amongst a brotherhood of heroes.
Well, this is it, fellas. Zussman wanted you to have it. And you'll need it more than me. You got a kiddo now.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Gentlemen. Queens! Your prodigal son returns!
You gonna be okay?
Gotta say bye to Zussman.
Sarge?
Going home, Sergeant?
I am home. What about you? You gonna re-up?
I've been away from Texas for a long time.
You take care, farm boy.
I will. When my son asks what I did, I'll tell him I fought with the first. And that crazy bastard Pearson.
Crazy ain't the half of it.
If you're ever in Chicago,
I'll get there.
oh, yeah, maybe I'll surprise you in Longview first.
You're welcome anytime.
You know, when they captured us, it wasn't just our freedom that they took. Even though we were together, and we were alone, looking for any way to survive. But you could have gone home a hero. Why'd you come back?
I saw that life. Just couldn't live it. To the end.
To the end.
The dream was different last night. This time we made it home. Together. I can still hear the wolves, Paul. Sometimes I still see them coming. But you showed me how to fight them. So this belongs to you. Because the sacrifice you made taught me that a hero will risk it all to save his brother. And you'll always be both to me.
And there you have it, guys. That is Call of Duty World War II completed on Veteran Difficulty with the achievement to prove it. I always feel good when I complete a walkthrough. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I wasn't sure if I was going to play this game. I'd like to give a special shout out to my friends Chris and Greg. They were nice enough to donate some money to the channel, which allowed me to buy this game. So without them, I wouldn't have been bringing you this walkthrough most likely. So thank you guys. But there you go. I'm just going to go through every channel, or sorry, I'm going to go through every chapter so you could see that I did beat it on Veteran. You could see the little symbol in the upper left corner, which is 3 stripes and a star. That is the symbol for beating it on Veteran. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Another walkthrough bites the dust, and I'll see you in the next one.